Welcome back, man. Talk how we talk, sports talk. Today's episode is presented by two Louisiana boys. Today we're gonna be doing an NBA episode for y'all. It's been a little minute since we talked NBA, so that's what we're gonna be doing tonight. And we're gonna be giving y'all some updates on a couple of things that's been going on around the league, and also dealing with basketball in general. I'm your host David O, and I'm here today with the other host.
D. Bruce,
Yes, sir. Man, I like the way you got the background set up, man. And I like the way you did the intro with all of the flashing going on, bro.
yeah. I've been working, man. I've been working. You know what
I
I'm
see,
saying?
bro. I see.
You
It's
know,
paying off, bro. It's paying
trying to
off.
make it, trying to make it top notch.
I feel you.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
you got
man.
for us today, man?
Yeah, man. Just make sure y'all like and subscribe before we get started, man. You know, shout out to everybody that's already subscribed, man. And like always, man, we're gonna, dive straight into it. Um, Hold on, man. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I got that off of there now. But yeah, David O. Chris Paul retired, man. This past couple weeks, man. What you thinking about Chris Paul retiring, man? I know you had spoke about him before in the previous episode. How you feel about Chris Paul retiring?
Yeah, man. To be honest with you, man, I didn't see it coming. To be honest, I know, when he got let off from the Clippers and was traded to Toronto, I kind of knew already that Toronto was gonna like waive him. Because that was kind of the talk around the league and stuff like that. So I thought he was gonna try to get on another team. So the sudden retirement was kind of a surprise to me, man. Because like we had talked, like you said before, I was kind of hoping that he might have would have came back to New Orleans, man. But I was reading a report that he was actually trying to finish with LA, man. He was trying to finish with LA. He was trying to retire with LA, and just rumors going around that between him and ownership and management up there, particularly Lawrence Frank,
Mm-hmm.
I think they had some issues going on, and Lawrence was just kind of like the best thing to do was just kind of part ways. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of sad to see him go out like this.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping he would have got on another team and maybe try to make a playoff push and a championship run if he could have got on one of those teams. But to be honest with you, man, he didn't bounce around the league already. He didn't been on a lot of teams. And anytime these veterans get on these like 1 year deals, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? You could kind of expect that, retirement is right around the corner. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
he had a great career in New Orleans, great career in LA, great career in Houston, and then kind of from there it was just kind of like a bunch of 1 year deals, OKC, Phoenix, he went there,
Mm-hmm.
back to the Clippers. So just kind of was hoping he would have got back on the team. Didn't expect the retirement this year, but he decided to go ahead and retire, hang up the shoes. But regardless, he's still gonna make the Hall of Fame, with or without the ring, just from what he did, throughout his tenure in the league. So shout out to Chris Paul, man, CP3, the point guard. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? But that's kind of my thoughts on Chris Paul.
Yeah, man. I totally agree with you on that. I just kind of feel like he was pushed out a little bit. Didn't really respect that too much. But he did say that the um Clippers said that they gonna still retire his jersey. But I ain't gonna lie, if I'm Chris Paul, man, I wouldn't even want the Clippers to retire my jersey. After the way they did me on my final season, that was pretty embarrassing. They told him to go home while they was on the road trip. Um, so to me, I felt like that was embarrassing. For him being a vet, man, all the work that he put in this league. I felt like they should have had a little bit more class and respect for Chris Paul, man, and
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Just gave him a treatment, royalty treatment. You know what I'm saying.
yeah,
And for them to let him go and then tell him, hey, we still gonna retire your jersey, man. I ain't gonna lie. If I'm Chris Paul, I wouldn't even want him to retire my jersey. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah.
definitely feel like New Orleans definitely need to retire. I'm petitioning for that. New Orleans definitely need to retire Chris Paul jersey because he done a lot for the organization.
Yep.
Uh, like all these years and stuff like that. And the beginning of the organization, Chris Paul was like their first superstar. So
Yeah.
Chris Paul definitely deserved to have his jersey retired in the Smoothie King Center for sure.
Yeah, man. That's why I wanted him to come back, because I know, he think and other people around the league think that, he made his career in LA, but kind of like we talked about before, what I'm saying, and his home is in LA, so that's kind of why he wanted to stick around LA. But
Mm,
at the end of the day, man, he built his name and he built his career in New Orleans.
that's a
Cause
fact.
I
That's a
don't think
fact.
I don't think without that New Orleans time span, he
Right.
would be where he at today.
That's a fact.
You
That's a
know what I'm
fact.
saying? Without that
I
New
agree.
Orleans tenure. So,
Hmm.
shout out to the Pelicans, shout out to Chris Paul. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But you know, I don't know, man. Maybe, maybe he might how do you call it?
I'm retired.
Yeah, unretire next year. Maybe in the offseason somebody might give him 1 year deal and he might come back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he definitely still had a lot in the tank, man. Just felt like he was disrespected by the Clippers organization though, but
Yeah, for
it
real.
is what it is, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, yep.
Yeah, man. Darren Peterson, man. Darren Peterson been in the news a lot lately, man. Young kid from Kansas, you know, um, saying that he might be the #1 pick in this upcoming draft. Um, been a lot going on with Darren Peterson, man. What you thinking about the Darren Peterson situation?
Man, I kind of was, doing some research on it when we was kind of talking about it, and just how I feel about that, man. I feel like anytime you the star, anytime you getting the big money, you getting the endorsement deals, you getting the contracts. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you should be playing.
That's a
If
fact.
you ain't hurt,
I agree.
you need to be playing, bro,
Mm-hmm.
because the people is coming to see you. The people is coming to see the superstars. And
Right.
if you ain't playing, what I'm coming to the game for? Yeah, I'm gonna support the team, but we want to see the superstars.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying? Like it just makes the game more funner when the
Mm-hmm.
superstars are involved. When instead of you load managing them, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Time management, load management, and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like if you healthy, you need to be on the court. That's why you getting the deals. That's why you getting the money. And you know what I'm saying? You need to continue to play,
Right.
especially if projected to be the top pick. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And right now,
Absolutely.
it's going into like March Madness and all of this stuff. And I was kind of reading some reports about, like how they said like in one of his NIL deals was like it's a rumor, it's not true, it's alleged, but it was like in one of his NIL deal things they were saying like he could basically pull himself out of the game in like the fourth quarter or something like that if they up by a certain amount of points. Now,
Mm.
don't get me wrong. A lot of superstars get pulled out the game when the team winning by a lot of points. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
To give some of the other guys, some playing time. If you up by 30, okay, it's no need for you to keep the best in the game. But at the
Right.
same time, if you ain't up by 30 and you ain't up by a lot, and the game been kind of back and forth game all night, man,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta play. You gotta go on there until the clock hits 0 seconds, man. And then the only time you should really be coming out is for a water break. Water
Right.
break, a
Right.
quick sit down, and then you back in it. You
Right.
know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's how I
Mm-hmm.
feel about the Darren Peter situation. That's why I feel about the players that's in the league. That's
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to something on the radio today, and they were saying how like some teams is already starting to shut down
Yeah.
they main players
Yeah.
because they trying to tank the season
Right.
in order to get the draft to use the draft picks because this draft is expected to have a lot of talent in it.
Mm-hmm.
So teams
Mm-hmm.
is trying to tank so they can get high picks so they can get these players that's in this draft. And that's
Mm-hmm.
another thing. You know what I'm saying? Like the NBA is cracking down on it, or they're starting to crack down on it. They find the Utah Jazz, and there's another team they find. for alleged tanking. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, if you got whole organizations doing this and you got teams doing this, man, how you think the players, looking at it like, oh, y'all telling us to tank, y'all telling us to do this. Well, maybe I should sit myself down.
Right,
Why do I
right,
need to
right.
go out and play and ball hard if the objective of the team and the organization is to tank just to get a top pick? So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of how I feel about the situation. I feel like nobody should be tanking. I
Right,
feel like no players should be sitting down if they're healthy. And like, play the game right, play the game fair. That's what we as fans are paying to see, and that's what we
mm-hmm.
want to see. We want to see the star players, and we want to see every team playing at the highest level.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, I agree with that, man. I just think, if you sign up to play, man, you got to play. Like, that's what it is, man. Like, I'm not sure about what you mentioned about him being able to pull himself in and
Yeah,
out or
it's
something like
alleged.
that.
It's alleged.
I
It's not
got you.
nothing
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
seen in the major news. It was just kind of something I seen like on a report somewhere, a little, it might have been in a comment or something, or
Right, I
clickbait.
got you.
You know what I'm saying? It could have been
Uh-huh.
something like that. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, because sometimes people be having them special clauses in their
Right, right.
contract,
True.
because the Clippers got in trouble. That's how they got Kawhi Leonard over there. You know what I'm saying? Because what the
Mm-hmm.
Clippers did, they started a whole nother business in
Mm-hmm.
order to sidetrack the NBA salary cap or whatever it was,
To
in
get
order
him
to
over there.
get Kawhi over there,
Yeah.
paying him through like a third party type of thing.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So even
yeah.
that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be
Mm-hmm.
careful when you do stuff like that, because you know what I'm saying? That's not integrity,
Right,
for the
right.
game. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? When you intentionally tank, intentionally paying players through third parties, and intentionally sitting down,
Mm-hmm.
when you're healthy.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, I gotta agree with that, man. Also, I just kind of feel like, that rule that the NBA came along with, making it mandatory for players to go to college before they can enter the draft. I think that kind of hurt the college game a lot, because, if kids could just go straight from high school to the NBA, I think that would change a lot of that. It would just, if you want to go to the NBA, you just go to the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like, not go to college and play for one season and then go to the NBA, and then it's these schools and teams, they gotta rebuild a team and start all over again. And man, just let them kids come straight out of high school and go to the NBA, man. It's a lot of guys I think right now can come out of high school and go to the league. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's just, I feel like the NBA rule really kind of hurt college sports, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So um, yeah, man. Like I said, if you healthy, man, like, you should be on the court playing, man. Ain't no reason why you should be playing.
No, for real. And I feel you on that, on the college rule thing, about the kids going from high school to the NBA. But I kind of feel them on it too, you know what I'm saying? Because these kids are so young,
Mm-hmm.
coming out of high school, you know what I'm saying? Some of them 17, 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And, they came out with that rule of 1 year, minimum, to just kind of get these kids an idea, to just basically give them another year of experience, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and just to let them, even, I guess, too, to even taste college, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because, even though, a lot of kids is playing ball for the money, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying, and to support their families, at the end of the day, you got to know how to handle that money. And a lot of
Right.
kids being that young, man, coming into the league, then you about to get throwing millions of dollars at you. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So, I guess they, figured that, this was a way to get these kids a little more ready in order
Mm-hmm.
to, jump in that, because maybe once they would go to school, maybe they would decide that, hey, you know, money is important, my family is important, but hey, maybe I might do another year. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Or maybe I might go get my degree. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Just to give them the opportunity. But most people ain't gonna take that opportunity to college. Most people, when they eligible to be declared for the draft, they gonna go to the draft.
Right. Right.
Because
Right.
they need the money. You know what I'm saying? They
Mm-hmm.
need the money, their family need the money. But and then being young like that too, you could get taken advantage of.
Right.
from your financial advisors, if you got the wrong people around you, you know what I'm saying? That like people that, they putting on a show like they got your best interest at heart, but at the end of the day, you just another number. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Kind of like how Paul was telling us, you know what I'm saying? How like he like to build with his clients. He ain't
Mm-hmm.
coming at them with the money. He coming
Right.
at
Right.
them with
Right.
the,
Relationship.
the relationship. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So that's kind of how I feel like just get these kids a little more ready before they
Mm-hmm.
jump into that water, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel you
I'm
on that too, though, about how the teams got to start to rebuild and stuff. Because if you get a top high school player, number top 10 in the league, in the nation or
right.
whatever, they come to your program for that 1 year, you give them this scholarship, whatever, whatever, and now they leave, and now you got to go try to find somebody else. So I do agree with you on, the rebuilding of the team and stuff like that.
Right. 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 I mean, which lead me into my next question. Is NIL hurting or helping college sports?
I think it's doing both. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
doing both because it's helping financially because
Mm-hmm.
these kids are now able to benefit from their name, image, and likeness. Because at
Mm-hmm.
first, it was only the colleges in the programs that was benefiting. Y'all ain't
That's a
out here
fact.
in this gym putting in this work. Y'all ain't been
Mm-hmm.
doing this for the last 10, 15, however many years these kids been training and playing, you know what I'm saying, getting prepared for that level. So I felt
Mm-hmm.
that it was only right that if you're gonna mandatory make me come to practice, you're going, it's like a job. So if you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
make me come to practice, show up to games, do these interviews, talk to these reporters and all of this stuff, I feel like I should be getting paid for it. You know what
Right.
I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Yeah, I'm getting a scholarship, but at the end of the day, if I was getting my contract or whatever the case may be, I could pay my own way for college. You know what I'm
Right. Right.
saying? Or whatever the case may be. So I feel like in that aspect is helping
Mm-hmm.
because the kids, a lot of these kids, even when I went to college, I ain't had no money. I was broke, and I wasn't
Right.
even a ball player. So just think about these other kids that's trying to play ball. They ain't got no money neither, and
Right.
that's why they playing the sport to try to get the
Right.
money. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's helping in that aspect, but I also think that it's hurting it too because at the end of the day, like you mentioned, they going to college for 1 year, they getting this money, and then they go into the draft and they leaving, and now the programs don't got the star players no more. So now
Right.
every year it's like a rebuild. It's like
Right.
a
Every year.
rebuild every year. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? And then with the portal, kids ain't even staying at the schools that they originally signed with. They
Right.
here this year, and then if another school come knocking and calling and offer them something better,
Mm.
they gone.
Right. Right. Right.
You
Yep.
know, so it's a double-edged sword, man. It's a double-edged sword, but at the end of the day, it's good that they came with it because these kids really put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into their craft to
Mm-hmm.
not benefit from it.
Right. 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 Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that, man. I feel like it's both. I feel like it's helping because the kids are able to get paid now, off their name, image, and likeness. I done heard so many stories and watched documentaries about, like the Fab Five and stuff like that, man. How, the institution was basically making so much money off the Fab Five, but they wasn't seeing a dollar from none of the jerseys, none of the memorabilia, nothing. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good thing that they're getting paid, but I also feel like they need to like start having some stipulations, like the league do a little bit. Like in the
Yeah.
contractual agreement, it's kind of like back to the Darren Peterson situation. Like in a contractual agreement, it should say if we pay you this amount of money, you have to stay this amount of years, or you have to play this amount of games, or whatever like that to still be able to get that money. Because if I'm paying you $3 million to come to my program, and then you telling me when you want to play and you don't want to play, it's kind of like, well, why am I paying you $3 million?
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why I kind of feel like it's helping, but it's kind of hurting because, and then also it's kind of like touching on what you said earlier about why the league changed the rules. It's kind of like now though, the kids still getting $3 million to go to college. That's a lot of money as a young kid.
Yeah.
So I just kind of feel like at this point, man, the league might as well just let the kids come straight out of high school because they gonna get the $1 million whether they go to college or go to the league.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
and,
So
and
it's
two,
just
like, you know what I'm saying, they was always doing it, they just had to do it under the table. So
right,
now, you know, because like with Reggie Bush, you know what I'm saying, he was doing it on the table, they took his Heisman from him, but then once the NIL came out, you know, they ended up giving it back to him or
right,
whatever. But you know, these programs and these universities, they've been paying people. It's just, you know, they
right.
had
It
to
was
do
under
it
the table.
through under the table and through third parties. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So now, just to kind of get rid of all that, they just came out with the rule to do it, you know, to pay these kids now. But you know, I kind of heard something on the radio show about you know, how you said, like, how they just need to put some stipulations on it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? To
facts.
where these kids not able to just come in, get the money and leave, because
And
now
leave.
these universities, they out of millions of dollars and you only
Right,
came one, they ain't even really get to recoup. You know what I'm
right.
saying? And then at
You,
the same time, it's like you know, you got to be able to play a certain amount of games, you know, like for the ticket sales, the jersey sales, all that you were saying. That way,
mm-hmm.
you know, because we made an investment in you, and
Right.
we need a return on that investment.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, I agree with that, man. I just feel like they need to put some stipulations in them contracts, man. Cause I seen Shaq on a podcast and he was talking about how he gave this player like millions of dollars to go to LSU. The kid went there for 1 year and then he transferred. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's just I don't know, man. Like they definitely gotta fix it.
yeah,
But
yeah. You just got to put stipulation on, because that's what the radio show was talking about with that transfer portal. How these kids is jumping around and stuff like
right.
that. How they need to put a stipulation on that. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Maybe, you know, if you do it once, you only can do it once. You can't do it every year.
Right,
You know what
right,
I'm
right.
saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? If you at LSU this year and you decide that you want to leave and go to Michigan, well, you done. You can't transfer
Right.
no more. You gonna finish your
Yeah.
career at Michigan.
That's a fact. That's a
You know
fact.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
some
yeah.
kind of stipulation on it. Yeah,
Hmm.
for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely a subject we gotta come back to, man. We gotta touch back on that. But uh sleeper team going into the playoffs. Who you think, gonna be that sleeper team going into the playoffs, man, that's, you know, might give some people some problems, man,
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
NBA.
Man, the sleeper team. I know, kind of off camera, I had mentioned the Hornets, but bruh, now I'm thinking
The Rockets.
Houston Rockets, baby. And the
Yeah.
reason why I'm thinking Houston Rockets, man, is because, you know, as we all know, you know, they got KD at the beginning of, at the beginning of the season. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? I mean, they lineup is just a big lineup. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? They got like the tallest lineup in the league right now, man. You know, all guys well over six
Mm-hmm.
seven, 6'8". You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, right.
Approaching 6'10", 6'11". You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, with their starters and stuff. Yeah, we lost what's old boy name that we lost? Adams.
Uh,
We lost
yeah,
Steven
Steven
Adams,
Adams.
out for the season.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we still got, Sengun, we still got, Jabari Thomas, still got Amon Thompson, I think.
Yeah,
So we
Amen Thompson and Jabbar Smith.
yeah, Jabbar Smith, yeah. So we
Yeah,
still got those guys in the fold, I don't know what's going on with Fred Van Fleet, if you're gonna make it back or not. Maybe not.
probably
But you
not.
know what I'm saying? We still got a solid team. When Jalen Green gets hot, well, not Jalen Green because he ain't done no more, but when Amon, when he get hot,
Uh-huh.
you know what I'm saying? He can really, get hot and, be a good scorer for us. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And Singun, he always do his thing. I mean, he's a big man that can play point. He
Mm-hmm.
can pass, he can shoot. You know what I'm saying? KD, he's, in his late 30s and he ain't missed a step yet. He's
Right.
still
He's
putting
still
up, you know what I'm saying,
still
lots of
balling.
points a game, you know what I'm saying? So defensively, you know what I'm saying, we pretty good on defense. We kind of, like I said, we big, we long, we got a lot of big man down there. So I think the Rockets, for those reasons, I think the Rockets is going to be a team that a lot of players, a lot of teams need to watch out for,
Mm-hmm.
just because of all of those things I just mentioned, man. I don't, and right now, right now they are third in the West. They
Mm.
third in the West right now. You got OKC number one. You got Spurs number two.
Mm-hmm.
I know you was looking for a sleeper team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, somebody that wasn't in like the top five or top six, but I can't really find no teams, man, that's not in the top five or six that I really think can make a push and cause some havoc. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I think every team that's in the top six right now, Western and Eastern Conference, I
Mm-hmm.
think they all deserve to be there. You
I
know what
got
I'm
you.
saying? And so that would be my sleeper team in the West. If I had to choose a sleeper team in the East,
Uh-huh.
I mean, again, they all in the top six, but I kind of like I kind of like Boston, man. Boston been doing their thing all year.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You
That's a
know what
good
I'm
one. That's a
saying?
real good one.
I like
Yeah, for
Jalen. I
real.
like Jalen Brown.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know Tatum. He started practicing like with the G League team,
Mm-hmm.
so Tatum might be making a return. You know, just in time. And
Mm-hmm.
currently, the Celtics is number two in the East currently.
Right.
So I'm thinking, Houston in the West could be a
Mm-hmm.
sleeper team that could make some noise, and I think the Celtics is still scary, man.
Oh yeah,
Uh, you
I
know,
agree.
so that's who I would go with for my two sleepers.
Yeah, like we talked about off camera, man. I think the Charlotte Hornets, man. It was on a 9-game winning streak before the All-Star break. They currently on a 2-game winning streak. And man, they just been catching fire, man. They've been catching fire. Especially going into this second half of the season. So to me, that's kind of like my sleeper team, man. I just kind of feel like they kind of becoming a team who you might not want to see going into the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like in that first round, they got Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball, Con Knipple, uh uh Miles Bridges, you know, and they got a really good coach, man, good young coach, man. He been having them playing at a high level. So for me, I gotta go with the Charlotte Hornets, man, as my sleeper team. I think they gonna surprise a couple people, man, going into them playoffs, man. Cause right now ain't nobody even talking about them like talking about it. But the way
Yeah,
they been playing, man, I'm telling you, they building something out there in Charlotte.
yeah, man. They definitely, young, young and up and coming for sure. Like
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned, they was on the winning streak. They've been beating some teams and like you
Mm-hmm.
say, catching fire late.
Right.
Into the season. So, they definitely are a sleeper team and definitely a
Mm-hmm.
team that you need to watch out for
Mm-hmm.
sure. They definitely been doing their thing. But another
Right.
team too, that I also like in the East
Mm-hmm.
is the New York Knicks. I like the Knicks
Yeah. Yeah.
still. They've been
Shout,
good all year, physical,
shout out to the
gritty.
Knicks.
You know what I'm saying? And those Knicks fans, they deserve. That's one of the most loyal fan bases in all. Besides the Celtics and the Lakers, man, them Knicks fans, they they
Yeah.
they
Yeah. Yeah.
they strong, bro. They're a strong
Shout out
group
to
of
the Knicks.
fans. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. So look out for the Knicks too.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
I'm still curious to see what the Cavs are gonna do, just
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
Harden and Mitchell.
Hmm.
I really haven't been hearing a lot. I really haven't been seeing a lot, really.
Well, Harden
Um.
Harden broke his hand in this last game, so
Oh.
yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work now,
Yeah,
but
he probably done then. He probably done.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
was
yeah,
expecting to kind of see how they would play out. Like I
yeah.
said, I
Oh,
ain't
they was
really heard
balling.
nothing
They
or
was
watched
balling.
much about them. But
Yeah,
you
they was
know,
balling. They was looking.
okay,
Yeah, they was looking for real. They was balling before
man,
Harden broke his hand. Yeah,
it's
they
crazy,
was
bro.
hooping. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I
yeah. They
kind of
was hooping.
said that they was going ball. When he
Yeah, you
first got
said that.
traded. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? I just was kind of trying to see how they would finish out. But
yeah,
breaking news, broken hand.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, man.
Now
But
I don't
shout
know
out
if
to the
he
Cavs,
gonna
man.
still play with the broken hand. I don't know how bad it is, but I just seen a report today uh that Harden has a fractured hand. So
Okay.
I don't know how that's gonna work or what,
Yeah.
but yeah, they was hooping before he got hurt.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Man, and right now, let me check their standings right now. Right now they number four. They number four in the East right now.
Hmm.
So they still in there, still in the top six
Yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah.
conference.
Hmm.
Them and the Knicks got the same record, the 37-22. They
Mm-hmm.
both tied. So Knicks third, Cavs fourth, and then you got man, but another sleeper team though that you gotta watch out for, bro, is the Spurs, dog.
That's a
Right
fact.
now, they
That's a
number
fact.
2 in the West, but bro,
Yeah. That's
they
actually who
didn't.
I thought you was gonna say instead of the Rockets. I ain't go front.
I
The
was gonna
Spurs
say the
really
Spurs
like,
at first, but
yeah, yeah.
I kind of looked at some stuff and I'm like the Rockets, got a good chance to, upset some people. But them
Mm-hmm.
Spurs, man, you
The
gotta watch
Spurs.
out for them, bro,
Yeah,
because they didn't
absolutely.
beat OKC three,
Mm-hmm.
4 times this season,
Yep.
and they recently just beat Detroit, the
Yep.
Pistons.
Yep.
So they didn't beat the number 1 team in both conferences.
Both conferences. That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a
And
fact.
they got Wimyambi over there, big boy, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, doing his thing. And
Mm-hmm.
they got some good other players on the team too.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a young coach that got them,
Yeah, he
where they
got them
need to
locked in
be.
and focused. Yeah.
Yeah. So look out for the Spurs, man,
Yeah,
as
Spurs,
well, to
man.
be
Most
another
definitely.
sleeper team and could
Absolutely.
possibly upset some people, man, for real.
Mm-hmm.
But shout out to the Thunder too, because I was hearing some stuff on the radio how they kind of been dealing with injuries
Mm-hmm.
and and how some of their players ain't even been with them all season and
Mm-hmm.
through all of that they still number 1 in the West,
Wow.
with SGA being out current with recently, with the other man Caleb Williams, kind
Mm-hmm.
of missing a lot of games. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? And then to still be in number 1, still going from off of that championship run last year. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying I don't think they're going to repeat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to repeat. I think I'm in the West, man. I'm really looking at the Spurs or the Rockets.
Yeah, that's a
That,
fact.
that's the 2
That's a
teams I'm
fact.
looking at in the West, man.
But one thing I know about the NBA, man, from watching for so many years, them boys might be out right now, but when it come time to playoff time, they gonna be 100%.
Yeah,
They definitely gonna be in the rotation. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. I kind of still got OKC pulling it off, but like you say, man, the Spurs look dangerous. I just got through watching them. I ain't gonna lie, them boys look real dangerous, bro.
yeah.
They been on like they currently like on a winning streak right now. I think they didn't won like 3 in a row because they beat Detroit. They just beat the Raptors tonight, and then they beat who else? You say they beat like a
Uh,
recent game.
well, I know they. Well, right now, shit, but right now they on the 9-game winning streak.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They on a crazy winning streak right now.
They on a 9-game
Yeah.
winning streak right now.
Mm-hmm.
I just looked at it. Yeah, man. Yeah, and
Yeah.
they beating good teams. They
They
beating the
beating good
top
team,
teams, dog.
top team.
So
Yeah.
yeah, man, look out for the Spurs, bro. Look out for the Spurs for real, for real.
Yeah. 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 That's a fact, man.
Yeah, and then all the other teams, bro. Nothing really, really. All of the teams that been talked about this season, all season, is the teams that still leading, teams that still dangerous, and the
Mm-hmm.
teams that people expecting to make deep runs and make the conference finals and NBA finals. You know what I'm saying?
Right. 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 Yeah.
Pistons, Knicks, uh, Knicks, Celtics, and then OKC, Houston, San Antonio. All them guys, been in the fold
Right.
and been talked about a lot this season. So
Yeah. I think Harden going down gonna make a huge difference. With the Cavs
mhm.
though, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, but they was doing their thing before he went there. They was
Yeah, that's
doing their
true.
thing before he went there, and they didn't give up much for him. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Right. That's true. That's true.
So we'll
Yeah.
see how it go.
Uh-huh.
Yep,
Yeah, man. That's all I got, man. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, man, to the channel.
for sure, for
Talk how we
sure.
talk.
Talk how we talk.
Yeah, I'm your co-host, D.
Yes, sir.
Broussard,
I'm
along
the
with the
other
host.
co-host. Yep.
Yes, yep.
David
David
O,
O.
baby. Yep, yep. 2 Louisiana boys. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
Yes, sir. We in the
Yeah.
building. But hey, real
Uh,
talk though. Next
uh-huh.
episode, man, we got something special for y'all. I want
Uh-huh.
to get into some boxing.
Uh-huh.
I want to get into some boxing because recently they had a report
Uh-huh.
that Floyd Mayweather
Uh-huh.
and Manny Pacquiao
Uh-huh.
is supposed to be doing a rematch.
Yeah.
Netflix came out and confirmed it.
Uh-huh.
So, next episode, man, I want to get your thoughts on that and, kind of like how we talked about as well,
Yeah.
about the belt situation, how they be, trying to take people belts and make people pay for it. So, I want
Uh-huh.
to get into kind of some boxing. And then, the women just had a big boxing match. So
Yeah, yeah,
maybe we
yeah.
can drop something around boxing real quick just for the audience. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And just kind of get everybody, perspective on some of the things that's been happening in the
In the
boxing world.
boxing world. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That's a fact. Yeah, I definitely could do that. I definitely get my perspective on that and how I feel about that when I heard about that too. So
Yep.
yeah, we
Yep.
definitely gotta do that.
Already. But yeah, man, y'all like and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate everybody. You know what I'm saying? Once again, talk how we talk. Two Louisiana boys. We in the building. You know what I'm saying, man? It was a great episode. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Chris Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to all of the teams that we already didn't discuss.
Yeah.
And one last thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
They said I had heard something on the radio about LeBron James speaking on Jalen not yeah Jalen Brown.
Mm-hmm.
They was kind of asking him how his relationship was with Jalen Brown, and he
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Man, we ain't got no beef or nothing. I just don't like the shit he said about my son
Mm-hmm.
at summer league last year." So
Yeah.
that was kind of something I had heard, and I just wanted to kind of bring that up too
Yeah.
about how how father son, you know what I'm saying? A father ticking up for his son, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? But at the same time, not really having beef with the other person, just kind of, throwing it out there like, man, don't be, talking about his son or whatever. But at the same time, if you don't, if you want to put your son in that situation,
Right.
people wouldn't be able to, talk about it, you know what I'm saying?
That's a
Anytime you
fact.
one of the greatest players and, you kind of use your power, if you want to
Mm-hmm.
call it that, you know what I'm saying, to make things go a certain way, you
Mm-hmm.
gotta, expect some type of, criticism
That's
somehow
a fact.
in some way. You know what I'm
That's a
saying?
fact.
So just wanted to
And
kind of
and you can't get mad at other people having an opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a
yeah,
problem with the world today. You know, everybody's so sensitive to opinions, and you can't get mad for a person having an opinion. I mean, Jalen Brown, he spoke his opinion on how he felt about you know his son. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
so far, it's looking like he ain't really lied about what he said. So, um, hey, I mean that's just man opinion. You can't get mad about that.
yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I just wanted to kind of touch on that because I had heard that on one of them shows. So you know what I'm saying. But yeah, man, LeBron, like you mentioned before, we need to have that discussion too about the GOAT
Mm-hmm.
debate, LeBron and
Yeah.
MJ. So
Yeah.
more episodes to come, man. We appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying. Once again, talk how we talk. Like and subscribe. Hit the
Yes, sir.
notification bell that way y'all know when we dropping. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying. And man, we appreciate everybody, man. But we out.
We out, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Talk how we talk.
Talk how we
Yeah.
talk, baby.